Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video we are going to be looking at embarrassing moments, and let's see actually if they really are all that embarrassing. Nurses at hospital thought I was a patient trying to escape. This already has such great potential. So I work at a care home for disabled adults, and every now and then I have to do a shift in the hospital. One of the residents was sick and me and one other staff member were staying with her. About 6-ish hours in without a break, my co-worker said, "Do you want to take a half-hour break?" Literally music to my ears. Went out, got some food and a smoke, and was all good. I was ready to go back. I realised I completely forgot what ward we were in. I was extremely sleep deprived. So I sort of just guessed, and I accidentally walked into the cancer ward next door. I was about to turn around when the door locked behind me because visiting hours were over. There were 4 nurses all chatting together, and I asked them, "Hi, I'm sorry but I accidentally walked into the wrong ward. Can you unlock the doors please?" And they all started looking at me like I walked in naked or something. Started asking me if I was a patient. I still don't know why they thought that because I wasn't wearing a hospital gown. No, I'm a support worker looking after one of the residents. I just walked into the wrong ward by mistake. What ward are you meant to be in? This is where I panicked because my mind was still blank. Just the one next door. Can you please open the door? Okay, we're gonna have to get some staff members to escort you back to your bed. At this point, everyone was staring at me. They still thought I was a patient. Like, I get that I could have explained it better, but like everyone there had hospital gowns, I was in my regular clothes. I was trying to explain to them that I wasn't a patient for so long. They were persistent no matter how many times I explained myself, so I had to call my co-worker to come and get me. She found it hilarious and always brings it up. Most stressful and embarrassing moment of my life. I don't think that's too embarrassing, really. Like you say, you were like sleep deprived, so yeah, accidents happen, and I mean the fact that you have a very stressful job anyway kind of probably just adds to it. It probably feels more stressful and more embarrassing because your colleague keeps bringing it up. That's probably why you're feeling so embarrassed. But I think we've all walked into places that we really shouldn't have been, or we've walked into the wrong classroom or tried to get into the wrong car or something. It happens to everyone, but I can appreciate that it can be embarrassing. The guy at Taco Bell. There was this one time years ago I went to Taco Bell and there's this big dude working the register, and I accidentally called him ma'am and then tried to recover by saying man right after. I've thought about that far too often ever since, even though the dude didn't even react at all, so whatever. Again, I think we've all done this. We've all thought we've said something, or we've all said something that we didn't mean to say, or it's come out wrong, or someone's, you know, someone gives you a meal at a restaurant, they say enjoy your meal, and you say you too. And you're just like, why did I just say that? Because like, what? So yeah, but it's one of those things I think that sometimes does just keep playing in your head, and it's really frustrating, but I don't think it's too embarrassing. He's probably been called worse, and he may not even heard you say ma'am. He might have actually heard man, and that's why he didn't react. So yeah, but like I said, it happens to us all. Embarrassing conversations. Here's one of mine. I know 2 gentlemen that have the same name. Let's call them James. They had very similar voices with a light lisp. One worked for me, had been a well-known architect, and built some absolutely beautiful custom homes. He was in his early 50s. We talked on the phone often. The other very kind, soft-spoken gentleman, also named James, also someone that I spoke to often, because we were in the same business but always saw each other once in a while. We had mutual friends in the music business. He was in his 80s, had been in several movies, and had been a professional dancer. He had children my age. His wife passed away a year before and I had attended her funeral. I was driving, had seen the James that worked for me a few weeks back. He called me and asked if I would take a referral from him. That it was his wife's birthday and he and his adult children were going to the cemetery to visit her. I said, "James, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. What happened?" His reply, "You're at the funeral. How could you forget? Do you think it's some kind of joke?" Me, "I'm sorry. Who am I speaking to?" Him, "This is James. James Smith." Not his real name. I said, "I'm sorry. I thought I was talking to James Jones. Please forgive me." Click. Geez, I could have died. I cringe every time I think of it. Oh yeah, that one is actually embarrassing. It's really easy to muddle people up though, especially when they're so similar in not just name, but like the profession, how you know them, the way they talk. So yeah, don't beat yourself up about it, but yeah, that is probably one of the most embarrassing ways you could have fumbled. Yeah. Can't really say anything more about that one, to be honest with you. Misplained vacation. Told everyone at work about this vacation to Korea I'm going to for 2 weeks. Spent all week coordinating all my work, coordinating my time off, talking to all my team about what I'm going to do. Even delayed an important meeting with a vendor since I'll be gone next week. Turns out my flight isn't until the entirely next week. Not only am I going to look dumb and a terrible planner, but I'm going to have to show up to work the entire next week to soak it all up. I'm going to have to share this with my boss to re-coordinate my vacation. Also, my work is negatively impacted because my delayed meeting. So this is the first one that's actually had comments on, and they're saying that both comments are saying just lie and say the flight got cancelled. And that's actually not a bad shout. I mean, that is a little bit awkward because you're just like, oh yeah, I'm going away and I'm going to be doing this and everything's going to be doing this and we're going to organise this. And fair play to you. You were trying to organise things. You weren't just going to up and leave and just say, I'll sort it when I get back. Yeah, that is embarrassing. But yeah, I think if you said that, yeah, your flight got cancelled, or I don't know, the hotel chain went into administration or something, so you've had to reorganise the entire thing, then that could probably save face a little bit, depending how you feel about that. Otherwise, just be like, I'm human and I made a mistake. But yeah, it's the going into work bit for me that's the embarrassing bit. Okay, so this is a long one. Don't poop in bathrooms under construction. 1991, I was working at a large airport that had new construction at a terminal. The building was 99% complete and the contractor was performing what is called the punch list to correct all the identified deficiencies discovered by inspectors before occupation. Everything in that new building was brand spanking new, including brand new personal, single occupant, restrooms for ramp workers inside the baggage makeup area. I'm driving around on third shift doing my job and I feel a tummy rumble. A day or two earlier I'd suffered myself with roach coach tacos from Manuel's authentic Mexico City airport taco truck. To be honest, it may have been my personal best at eating tacos. Probably 24 greasy, hot, meaty, cheesy goodness. That is a lot of tacos. 30 hours later it was my time to say adios to yesterday's mid-morning snack. I notice I am driving past the newly built building and I happen to notice the brand new yet to be defiled men's restroom right off the ramp. Perfect. I shall break you in, I thought. I park and start to walk over, getting ready to shuck my one-piece uniform in order to execute Operation Vaya con Dios Tacos. Out of the corner of my eye I see a sign taped to the door saying closed for XXX. But to be honest, I didn't pay attention to it because the tummy rumble has suddenly increased to tummy Mount St. Helens style rumbling. I enter, lock the door, shuck my one piece, drop and plop. It was pretty spectacular for around 3 minutes trying to hold on to keep from blasting off the seat. But finally the spicy demons were expelled and I reached back for the flush handle and pressed it down. A geyser of ice cold water shot out from between my legs and blasted diagonally across the small room, hit the door and ricocheted around the room, covering everything with water and what I had just ejected. The Saturn V rocket flush blast continued for at least 10 seconds until there was about 3 inches of water on the floor in the room. Oh no. I couldn't move. I didn't speak. There was complete silence after that tsunami except for the water and poo dripping off every surface and plopping down into the mini pool on the floor. The water had been ice cold and now my tuchus was now cleaner than the day I was born thanks to that water rocket. I slowly stood up as my brain kicked into overdrive. What the fudge do I do now, I thought. I was soaked and to be honest I had instant PTSD. I realised I was a walking hazmat problem, so I stripped. I took every item of clothing off and bundled it up into my hands. I cracked open the door and peeked outside. Nobody was around. And I was soaked from head to toe with ice cold water and poop. So I quickly walked buck naked back to my car, tossed my clothes and boots into the trunk and grabbed a trash bag from my gearbox. I stepped into one bag, pushed my legs through and tied a quick knot around my waist. Trash bag jorts. I got into the driver's seat and drove home naked-ish to shower and change. Fortunately, I live about 20 minutes from work and was soon home. I put all my soiled clothes on top of my backyard fire pit and later burnt them. When I turned to the airport and went back to look at the mess, I noticed a sign on the exterior of the door that I'd barely glanced at. Closed, water pressure not yet regulated, do not use. 30 years later, I still remember that freezing geyser shooting up from between my legs and blasting my tuchus shiny clean. I was grateful beyond words that that event had taken place at 3 AM and not 3 PM. Yeah, that is embarrassing because, like, yeah, I mean, read the signs, but at least there was no one around and it was like dead quiet. But what did you do about the mess? Like, did you clean it? Because I would like to think you cleaned it, because that's not fair if you just left it for someone else. But yeah, that is a little bit embarrassing actually. Not gonna lie, but fair play. So the one comment at the bottom, wow, that puts a new meaning to blowing up the bathroom. I've destroyed some bathrooms in my time and I'm grateful I have never encountered a geyser flush like that. This post will make me think twice next time I have to use an unfamiliar toilet or just a building under construction. Yeah, now I might flush before I use it, just in case. I don't know if that's I don't know how embarrassing that is, because obviously you were on your own, but it is embarrassing in the sense that it happened, I guess. Yeah, well, that's everything for this video today, guys. It is a bit of a shorter video for this week. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. I do post twice a week and we've got some really fun stuff coming up this year that you don't want to miss out on. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.